About 1.5 million years ago, someone died with a tumor growing in their foot. We know because we found the bone, a toe bone, from an early human relative in South Africa, with the unmistakable signature of cancer frozen inside it. Not an injury, not an infection. A malignant tumor in a body that walked the earth over 1 million years before the first city was ever built. So here is the question nobody asks. If cancer is that old, if it was already killing our ancestors before we were even fully human, then why, after all this time, hasn't evolution simply gotten rid of it? We treat cancer like a modern disease, a punishment for cigarettes and processed food and living long enough to get old. And those things matter. They truly do. But cancer itself was here long before any of that. It was here before humans. It was here, as we'll see, before mammals existed at all. Ancient humans got cancer. So did the animals they hunted. So did creatures that died 100 million years before the first ancient humans took a breath. And evolution, which has solved almost impossible problems, building eyes, wings, brains, immune systems of staggering precision, has never solved this one. This is the story of why. Start with just how old this really is. That tumor in the ancient foot bone isn't even close to the beginning. Scientists have found signs of cancer in the fossilized bones of dinosaurs. They found it in the remains of ancient reptiles, older still. Cancer isn't a human problem or even a mammal problem. It shows up across the animal kingdom in almost every branch of complex life we've ever looked at closely, which tells us something strange and important. Cancer isn't a flaw that evolution forgot to fix. It's something much harder to escape than that. To understand why, you have to understand what cancer actually is. And it is not what most people think. When ancient humans caught an infection, something had entered them from outside. A foreign invader with a foreign body that their immune system could learn to recognize and fight. Cancer is the opposite. Cancer is not an invader. Cancer is you. It is your own cells, running on your own DNA, following instructions your own body wrote. A cancer cell is simply one of your cells that has stopped obeying the rules that keep the rest of you alive. It grows when it should rest. It multiplies when it should stop. But it is built from the same material as every healthy cell around it. That is the whole problem, in one sentence. The enemy is not something that got inside you. The enemy is made of you. And that means it was never a problem evolution could just delete. Because the thing that causes cancer is the same thing that makes you possible. Here is the deal that every complex creature is born into. To build a body, whether a Stone Age hunter or the animals they chased across the plains, you need cells that can divide. Grow a wound closed. Replace worn-out skin. Turn a single egg into a living creature made of trillions of cells. All of it depends on cells copying themselves over and over, billions of times. But every single time a cell copies its DNA, it can make a mistake. Most mistakes are harmless. Your body catches most of them, repairs them, or quietly kills the cell that carries them. Ancient humans had these defenses. So do you. They are astonishingly good, but they cannot be perfect, because a body that never allowed a single cell to divide freely would be a body that could never heal, never grow, never live. The exact same power that builds you can, very rarely, break loose and build a tumor instead. That is the bargain. The ability to grow is the ability to grow wrong. You cannot keep one without risking the other, and no amount of evolution can separate them because they are the same power. This is why evolution never cured cancer. Not because it wasn't trying, but because a cure would mean uninventing the thing that lets complex life exist. But it gets deeper and stranger than even that. Evolution is powerful, but it has a blind spot. It can only shape traits that affect whether you have children. And here is the quiet, uncomfortable truth. For almost all of human history, most cancer struck too late to matter to evolution. Ancient humans, for most of our past, rarely lived into the ages when cancer becomes common. Most cancer appears after decades of small errors have piled up in the body. By the time it usually strikes, an ancient human had very often already had their children. Evolution had already, in its cold arithmetic, gotten what it needed. So a cancer that kills you at 60 exerts almost no pressure on evolution to prevent it. The trait passes on regardless. Natural selection simply cannot see a disease that waits until after you've already raised the next generation. Cancer hides in evolution's blind spot, striking in the years selection stopped watching, which leads to the final, modern twist. We are living longer than any humans who ever existed, far longer than the ancient humans whose bones we dig up. And every extra year is another year of cells dividing, another year for those rare mistakes to accumulate. We didn't invent cancer. We inherited it from a chain of life stretching back hundreds of millions of years. But by surviving everything else that used to kill us young, we gave cancer the one thing it always needed: time. That's why the picture is not hopeless, even though there will never be a single magic cure. We can't delete cancer from biology. It's stitched into the deal that made us. But we are learning, cancer by cancer, to catch it earlier, to target it more precisely, to hold it back. Not by winning one war, but by understanding an ancient enemy that was never truly separate from us at all. Now go back to that foot bone, 1.5 million years old, with a tumor sealed inside it. That ancient human felt something we would recognize, their body turning a piece of its own growing power against itself. The same bargain we are all still living inside today. Cancer is not a modern curse. It is the oldest shadow of being alive, and ancient humans carried it, exactly as we do, all the way back to the beginning.